Welcome to the new season of Frontseat. There's a lot of streets like this one in New Zealand. Wide, nice little houses, weatherboards, friendly people, always up for a wave. Morning. This is also the sort of street where you might bump into Sir Ian McKellen, or James Cameron, self-proclaimed king of the world, or any number of Hollywood film-type personalities, because this is where two kids, called Peter and Richard, who once sat in their garden making home movies with, bits of clay and stuff for special effects, now run one of the most important parts of the Hollywood film industry.
The problem with poetry is simply a branding difficulty. There's still poetry, it's still successful, it's still read and studied and imitated and learned, just not by old fogies in universities, by Byron-esque young rebels out to upset the status quo. The problem with poetry is, it's not called poetry anymore, it's called rap.
C.K. Stead is an eminent man of New Zealand letters with a reputation as a formidable interviewer. I'm not sure these notes are going to cut it. If he hasn't finished a book, it's probably because it doesn't deserve it.
I was quite an admirer of a lot of Graham Greene's, and then the honorary consul came out and I read it and found it very boring and wrote a note in the back saying this is a very boring book.
This might look like a really nondescript building, but behind these walls a little revolution is taking place.
One bad thing about New Zealand is we're a small country. One great thing is that new players, even if it's just four of us with an idea, have the ability to change that market and stimulate it.
Yes, you will see a younger, more contemporary feel to art and object, no question about that.
Ballet tends to have almost a vocabulary of movement, and it tells a story, it's narrative based, whereas contemporary dance can be any sort of movement, it can be all over the show, it can be things that have never been seen before, and it can be very difficult to understand.
You will understand parts of it, like gestures and things that you connect with, sort of like body language, and we read body language every day.
You see, for 10 years, Black Grace had been acclaimed around the world for its company of high-profile, mostly Māori and Pacific male dancers. Now Neil's changed the makeup of the company to include 12 women.
I believe it's important that the audience walks away with a true sense of what the artist was trying to convey. Otherwise have we failed if we make work and nobody understands it.
The reason Corned beef is so popular in the islands is because it so closely resembles the taste of human flesh.
Well, I think the last 2 years have been extraordinarily successful. And
in what way?
In the sense of, we've had 2 years in a row where we've had serious New Zealand box office. When was the last time that it was this good? Probably Heavenly Creatures, Once Were Warriors, The Piano.
What we want is face time with people we want to talk to and build relationships with.
Then you've got to ask the next question, which is, if I sponsor this event or that event and I want people to come along so I can meet them and talk to them, will they turn up? Unless both parties actually think about the other side, the relationship isn't going to work. We get a much higher success rate when we're running arts functions than we have ever had with anything else.
Mr. Speaker, can Sir Julius Vogel assure this House that the 10% increase in expenditure sought for the Auckland Lunatic Asylum is not a sop in the pan to the unions for some wage increase?
He's rehearsing Auckland Theatre Company's production of Hatch for the Auckland Festival.
But represents a 10% increase in the actual number of Auckland lunatics.
I'm probably interrupting. You go.
Shakespeare always been the scary stuff.
Why? Because it's verse, or because?
Well, I come from a little two-way country, out in the Wop-Offs.
So it's too highfalutin for you.
Yeah, that's the last thing that ever come to mind about learning about Shakespeare. This Tempest is about the true story about Tamiti and Tūhoi. What you don't read in the Herald or TV1, TV3, whatever the case may be.
But you like that though, that's the theatre.
No, I don't create it. That's what the media like to have, because it's a selling point for them.